In 1995, in Quebec, Canada, 46-year-old Louise Ellis was a freelance writer and illustrator with a sense of humor and always loved writing in college. She had been writing for children's magazines and was a justice advocate. She had everything going for her. She also loved gardening and doing Tai Chi during her off time. She was a very lovable and sweet person, full of life, but apart from that, Louise felt empty. She always longed for a very successful and happy relationship. She had heard about an incriminated inmate named David Milgaard, who had been convicted of a crime who was wrongfully accused. She had met Brett in a Supreme Court hearing for the case of David Milgaard. Louise had always been interested in the case of David and inclusively wanted to write a book about him. They had brought in Brett Morgan for his forward testimony, another incriminated inmate behind bars who had been incarcerated due to a hideous crime he committed 17 years prior in 1978 due to strangling a local prostitute in an Edmonton hotel. Brett had came forward voluntarily for his alleged claims on the injustice of David Milgaard, claiming that Larry Fisher, another ex-convict, was the killer to which David was being accused of. Even though Larry Fisher, at around this time, was being accused of the crime but still not convicted, and Brett Morgan stood out to Louise because of this. She was very breathtaking by Brett Morgan's forward testimony and bravery about his claims. She saw him as a person who needed a second chance because he claimed he lived a very hard life due to his drug addiction. These were his claims for his wrongdoings, and Louise automatically saw love at first sight when she met Brett. Louise had been writing to Brett soon after and pleaded to the courts to sanction an early release for Brett because she claimed he was wrongfully accused and deserved a second chance at freedom. Eventually, all went well as planned and Brett was released. They began to date and everything was going swell and almost like a fairy tale story from a fictional child's book. They had moved in with each other and been living together for a year. Louise was very well educated and never had any run-ins with the law. And on the other hand, Brett Morgan was your typical blue-collar type of guy and never finished school and had a past of drug addiction and criminal activities. Louise eventually also purchased a truck for Brett to start his business in landscaping and construction, and bought him all of his tools he needed to get his jobs done. Everything was going smooth and fly. Louise saw Brett as charming and warm, almost like a teddy bear. And Brett really captivated her with his charm. And apart from this love affair, Louise still remained close friends and in close contact and communication with their ex-husband, John Messenoff. On a Friday night, Louise had rented a movie, Nostradamus, for her and Brett to watch that night and chill at home. Halfway through the movie, Louise gets a call by John Messenoff and they had been talking for about an hour. Brett found it a little strange and wasn't happy about this. The next day, on Saturday morning, Brett and Louise laid in bed and discussed their plans for that day. Louise tells Brett that she's planning on going on a trip to the Gatineau Hills with their ex, John, for the weekend with his daughter later that day. She packs her things and heads out the door of her Ottawa home at around 1:15 p.m. After the weekend is over, Louise never returns back home. Brett is distressed and in anguish. He gets a call Sunday morning from John Messenoff, literally a whole week after Louise's disappearance, and he tells Brett that Louise never showed up to his home. Brett seems confused and not sure what might have happened to Louise. Brett immediately goes out on the media and makes reports of Louise missing to the public and to the police. He's in deep turmoil and disbelief as to what might have happened to Louise. Police Sergeant Robert Pulford takes on the case and is willing to help Brett find Louise. He comes forward to Sergeant Pulford as the grieving spouse and tells him his criminal past, but that he's now a changed man and is deeply saddened by Louise's disappearance. Sergeant Pulford takes everything Brett has told him into account and hires a newly graduate private novice investigator from Scotland named Marie Perrant, who moved to Canada, who had no previous cases under her belt. She was willing to help Brett find Louise. Police saw Marie as refreshing and a way to get more information from Brett Morgan. Brett had stated Louise left home at around 1:15 p.m. and at 2:53 p.m. on April 22nd, the same day her car was found with her bank cards in it. Louise's bank card was used to make a transaction, and also the bank surveillance cameras had video recorded Brett making the transaction, while Louise was supposedly away on her trip, so this didn't add up to the investigators, and they found it fishy. They instantly had Brett as the target. Brett takes Marie to the Gatineau Hills, where Louise supposedly left her car parked. Everything in the car is intact, just the way Louise had left it. All of her belongings are still in her car, including all of her credit cards and clothing. It has now been 2 months already since Louise's disappearance, and in an effort to get Brett to come out clean, Marie Perrant used intimacy to lure Brett into finding Louise. Marie told investigators that she knows that Brett killed Louise and that he was playing the victim this whole time in order to be seen as innocent. Marie puts pressure on Brett to go with her to the Gatineau Hills to look for Marie. Marie is wired by police with surveillance cameras and audio to trap Brett. They head out to the woods, and Brett walks Marie into the woods, and almost like he's luring her into a trap, and almost as if he knows every step of the way into the woods where Louise's body might be. At one point, Brett tells Marie to be careful of her surroundings because there is barbed wire around where they are walking, and Marie finds it odd that Brett knows that there is barbed wire, but still proceeds with their investigation because she can't let Brett know that she is undercover, or else Marie could end up another one of Brett's victims. Brett finds Louise dead in pieces, dismembered and disfigured, covered in leaves and branches with their clothes scattered around. Brett immediately cries and sobs and can't seem to believe what he is witnessing. Police authorities automatically realize that Brett is the killer and come rushing into the woods where him and Marie are and arrest him. 2 months later, while behind bars, Brett dies and plummets to his death from hepatitis C. Till this day, Louise's close friends and investigators can't believe how good of an actor and deceiving Brett Morgan was, trying to cover up his wicked ways, almost like a methodical psychopath in a horror movie. That's the end of this story, folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and turn on all notifications for more stories. I hope you enjoyed it.